Tennessee Titans Weekly, we can't read a rock, but being the best podcast with Huff and Jock. We cover the Titans early in the morning or later, with everything you need, spitting facts, no paper. From the Music City, born and raised, we reppin'. The city and the state of Tennessee, we steppin'. Our fans enjoy, they say they'll enlighten us. Let's go Titans fans and tighten up. Welcome to your favorite Tennessee Titans podcast. We're here to be the best and never last. Hawk and Jock, what's the plot? To make the Super Bowl, or can we win or not? Welcome to your favorite Tennessee Titans podcast. We give you news and perspectives and do it fast. When you see our shows, tell us what's up. Let's get this win and go home and tighten up.
Welcome to your favorite Tennessee Titans podcast, Tennessee Titans Weekly. Jock.
Halt.
Jock.
Halt.
What's up, folks? Good morning, good afternoon, whatever time it is your way. All right, this went away for a minute. Okay, all right. Can you see me, Jock?
I can see. Yeah. Oh, man, Shauna came
me?
through already, bro, with a $50 super check.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Wow. Sean Britton, what's happening? Hey, we gonna stop the intro right now. Sean Britton.
Boom.
Sean Britton in the building. Early. Man. Hey, Sean Britton, bro. Appreciate it, man. Thank you, sir. Thank you, bro.
We appreciate you, bro.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you, man.
Hey, Sean B, we appreciate that, bro. That's like a welcome back gift. I look at that. It's a welcome back gift.
Yeah.
We haven't been live in a minute, man, so it's been a while.
Yep. That's right. That's fact.
Let's go through the list, man. We got 8 people in here. Let's look. What up, Toy?
Okay.
What's going on?
What up, Toy? What's happening?
We got Stevie BOE in the building. What's going on, brother?
Yep.
Rodney G, Jay Burks. He said we back. Yes, sir. We've been back. Sir. Technically, we've been on Bleacher Report, but we're back on YouTube.
We're on Bleacher Report. We're on Apple. We're on Spotify. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram. We out there. We hadn't done a live show in a long time though, for sure.
Yeah, so, it's been a minute, man.
A live show on YouTube. We do live shows every week on Bleacher Report, but on YouTube we have not been live. That is true.
Yep. All right. Awesome. So, man, hey, we back, man. You know how we do, dog. Oh, you want to kick us off, man? With our first topic of this day.
Yes. Well, we want to say, again, thank you all for, tuning into the show, man. And first, if you have not followed us or subscribed to us, man, do that right now, man. Hit the subscribe button here on the YouTube channel. As well, hit us up on Bleacher Report. Download the app. Follow the Tennessee Titans. You'll see us on there, man. We have weekly shows. And when the season pops off, man, we're going to have a lot of content. If you all look at our YouTube, our TikTok, especially TikTok and Instagram, hey, you see the content, man. We got a lot of content coming through, man. Hey, follow us on that. Tennessee Titans Weekly there. You can follow us on there. Follow us on Twitter, Titans Weekly 24/7. Apple, Spotify. Find Tennessee Titans Weekly. We got content, folks. Come holler at us for sure. All right. So let's start talking about some things that's going on right now. All right. So the title of this show is Training Camp Preview. As you know, the training camp is about to start here next week. Jacques and I will be at some of these practices, man. Hey, it's about to be on, man. So, right now, players are practicing, doing just their own individual thing and trying to get ready. So we just saw this where there was a report yesterday that came out that ranked the NFL coaches in the league going into 2025. And in this, it stated that head coach Brian Callahan was the worst NFL coach going into the season in 2025. So, Jacques, hearing that, knowing what you know, tell me what are your thoughts, man, about that?
To rank him as the worst head coach to me is wild, and I understand why they're doing it because we had the number 1 pick. But to me, there were other head coaches in the league that I can really question and be like, okay, he's the worst head coach or he's the worst head coach. Matter of fact, you don't happen to have a list of head coaches that got fired, right? I
I
don't know if
don't.
you had it listed.
No, I
Okay,
don't.
yeah, you're fine, you're fine. But to say he's the worst head coach in the league, no, that's debatable. And what I mean by debatable, yes, we have the number one pick because that's what everybody's going to say. You have the number one pick. You're the worst team in the league. Da 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 da. It's a reason why you're worst team in the league. First year, and I give a little grace to first year head coaches because technically it's your first year. Technically, what tends to happen, you come in to that program, and I just use football as an example out of the way. You come into a new program, you trying to build a culture, you try to build a staff, right? Because sometimes you try, if you already have a staff built out that you know that you already knew you was getting a head coaching job, is easier. But if you don't know, you're trying to build your staff. Then as you're building your staff, you're implementing your playbook, the way you want to do things, how things are going. So it's hard to come in year one and say, oh man, we're gonna win a Super Bowl or we're gonna win a natty, right? It's hard to come in and say, hey, we're gonna do this. We have a goal, right? Also, I'm gonna add to this, Hulk, you have carryover players that are not even your players, right? So at that point, it's like, okay, hey, what do we do? What I have to work with is what I have to work with. So what Callahan had to work with is what he had to work with, right? I think the biggest caveat with this is the reason why the Titans were bad is quarterback play. Alone quarterback play got lost us 4 games, man. Right? The defense was playing their heart out. They were the number one defense for like what I'm about to say all the way up to week 8 maybe. I think it was week 8, and then they kind of trickled down and whatnot. But we haven't had a number one defense in a minute. So to say he's the worst head coach in the league going into this season on paper because he got the number one pick, yeah. But in my opinion, no, he's not the worst head coach out there. In my opinion, that's just my opinion. I mean, what's your thoughts, Hawk?
Okay. All right. So I think going into 2025, I took some, I really looked overall at the list as far as who they felt, were right next to Brian Callahan in this situation. And a lot of the coaches that they had listed above him are coaches that have not even coached yet, right? So, have a lot of guys that are just getting started this year, Kellen Moore, Brian Schottenheimer, Aaron Glenn, and those guys. So, right now going into the season, if I'm Callahan, I would look at this as a motivator, right? To your point, Will Levis, quarterback play, bad roster, felt that our roster wasn't good. On top of Will Levis, I think that hurt Brian Callahan. Did he have questionable calls and questionable coaching last year? Yes, he did. But I will say this. I do think there's other coaches in the league who have more experience that's worse than him. That's not, so I understand, honestly, why Callahan is ranked there. I do get it. And I would say going into the season, I'd have Callahan probably bottom 5 going into the season because, again, he hasn't proven anything yet. But I will say, when I look at maybe coaches like, Raheem Morris, when I look at Brian Daboll, these are guys that have been coaching for a few years. And I feel, I think Raheem Morris had a hell of a roster with the Falcons, and they didn't win a lot of football games. And I look at Brian Daboll, he did a lot of questionable things for the New York Giants last year, though the Giants had as bad quarterback play as we did, for sure. But I would say that I think generally going into next season, I might rank them worse than Callahan going into next year. Then I have Callahan right there. So I'm not sitting there saying, oh, he should be way better than where he's ranked at 32. I get it. I understand. I just think, putting the new coaches in there that hadn't coached yet, in the ranking, I mean, you have to. I guess that's just part of it. Callahan has some proving to do. He won 3 games in his first year. That's, regardless of how it looks.
Hey, Hawk. I think you froze. Hey, Hawk. Can you hear us? Yeah, I think Hawk's froze.
Well,
Hawk.
Our team, he only had 3 wins. Yeah. And so, with.
Can you hear us, Hawk?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you now. So real quick before you continue, Titan South hit us with a $2 super chat. He said, "What's up, guys? Good to see y'all back. Tighten up." Yes, sir. Hey, Titan South, my guy. We appreciate you, man. And I'm trying to wait for Hawk, but you know what? I'm gonna do this, man. I'm gonna go ahead and give you the boom. Boom! Titan South in the building, bro. Appreciate you for the $2 super chat. So let me get back to these comments, man, while we wait on Hawk. But let me ask you this, weekly family, and you can put it in the chat. Do you think Brian Callahan is the worst coach in the NFL going into the 2025 season. Put a 1 in the chat if you think so. Put a 2 in the chat if you don't. And again, it's a debatable topic where I think people do these things. Of course, they run out of little topics to say or whatnot, but it's very debatable. Very, very debatable. So here, Jack Ripper, what's good, my guy? What's good? All right, Jay Burke says 2. I don't blame. What up, Keisha? Keisha says 2. I'm gonna wait for some more people to give me their answer because again, that's a reach in my opinion. That's a reach, right? 2 is close though, and Flame. I'll say this, like to Hawk's point, it's debatable in a way, but when you have coaches like Kellen Moore ranked above Callahan, that's a reach in my opinion. That's a reach. That's a super reach, right? Um, Let me see here. Rodney says 2. I don't think he is, but he inherited a bad team. Exactly. And if you understand ball, you understand. It's like if you're getting a new job, you get hired. Say, prime example, you get hired at your new company, and they tell you, "Hey, Rodney, come in here and fix this mess." And you're like, "Hey, man, you ain't give me the tools to fix this mess. How am I supposed to fix this mess?" Right? So for sure, Titan South says if Cam works out, then we might be on our way. I agree. Steve B.O. says 2. Yep. I agree. Again, it's a debatable topic. I think they do this to get Titans fans riled up because it pissed me off when I seen it. I was like, what are y'all talking about, right? So waiting on Hawk. Let's see what we got here. So you know what? I'm going to do this. So Weekly Family, question. Have you seen Restrepo? This is going to be a 2-parter. Restrepo has, in the offseason, has been putting in crazy work. And I'm talking about Xavier Restrepo, Cam Ward's receiver. Restrepo was actually down in Miami working out with Chad Ochocinco and so forth and so forth. Chat. Hold on. Before I continue, I think we're getting Hawk back. Hawk, can you hear us? Jack Ripper, you say 1.5? Jack. So Jack, what 1.5? You say 1.4. That's funny. Hey, Hawk, can you hear us? I can't hear you. No, I can't hear you. I still can't hear you. You said what? I still can't hear you. Hold on. So Jack Ripper, why you put 1.5? Talk to me. Put that in the chat and say, Lewis Smith, what up? What's happening? What's happening? He said, I can't say, but I don't got too much faith in him. Let me see. X is a lock. So you was about to you know where I was getting to. Do you think Xavier Restrepo will be a lock with this Titans team? Do you think he's going to make the team? While we get Hawk back, we're gonna have a little fun here. Do you think Xavier Restrepo is going to be a lock for this team? If you can, put an X in the chat. If you don't think so, put an L. So, Steve, you say X for lock, right? Okay. Just call him X, man. I like that, Jay. You know what? You heard it here first. Weekly Family. Xavier Restrepo, X-Man. All right, Keisha, you say X. All right. Let's see. It's hard to say there'll be a lot of sleepers. I agree. And the reason I'm gonna get to my point why I'm asking this question here in a few. Jagger says, I don't know, I think he's the worst, but I also that's okay. You're talking about Coach Callahan. But I also have doubts on just how good he is. If you have a quarterback that's pretty solid, it has a lot of that, right? Flame, he said he's a lock. We got Sean B in the building with a $20 super chat. Dang, Sean, you just pulling out the dollars today, my guy. You know what, Sean? I appreciate you, bro. Let me go ahead and hook you up here. Sean B in the building. Boom. Sean B with the $20 super chat. My guy. We appreciate you, man. And just to let you know, Weekly Family, when you put back into the channel, this helps us grow our channel. This helps us support our channel and grow our channel even more. It helps us with equipment and everything. So definitely. And we're going to have more stuff for you guys in the season as well. Lewis Smith says XXX is looking good. 242 says X. Yes, sir. Restrepo will take Colton Down spot. I don't even see why Colton Down is still on his team. Agree. I 100% agree. So the reason why I'm asking this question about Restrepo, when I say preparation, and y'all hear me talk about this a lot, preparation is the key when it comes to one life. But when it comes to football, man, and just any sport, how you prepare, especially if you're not the most athletic person, will help you get far. I look at Danny Amendola and Julian Edelman, for example. I use those two receivers as an example. Restrepo, and I'm not saying he's them, but he kind of reminds me of their style of play when it comes to receiver, right? More of a possession receiver. But those two are the first players that come to mind when I think of Restrepo and how hard he's working. This joker is in Miami with Cam Ward. Then he goes to Chad Ochocinco's receiver clinic, and he's learning. He's learning from Jamar Chase. He's learning from Ochocinco. I mean, that was a slew of receivers there that are successful that he's learning from, and he's getting valuable reps. He's getting valuable mental reps, and he's learning how to play the position. So when training camp comes in, I expect Restrepo to really, 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 really be the most complete receiver outside of Tyler Lockett and my boy Calvin Ridley, right? And of course, I can't throw Traylon in there because Traylon really ain't done too much. But Restrepo does have the potential to be an all the well round receiver off the preparation of loan of what he's doing in the offseason. Hawk, you back?
Yep, I am semi
Okay.
on my phone, man. When it comes to StreamYard in my laptop, man, I tell you, it's all good. It's all, it'll
Yeah.
eventually get back there. It's cool as far as the
Okay.
laptop
Is it
goes.
updated?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay.
What's
Okay.
up,
Okay.
y'all?
That's
I apologize for the technical issues.
nah, you good, Hawk.
Cool, man.
All right. So hold on. Oh, Sean B. I appreciate it. Check us out, Hawk. He says, man, we need really raw, authentic, unbiased reporting. I
Yes.
appreciate y'all for delivering and not like all these MFers on ESPN just reading off the screen. Hey, most definitely, man. That's what we try to strive to do, man, is give y'all a non-biased opinion. And we're going to tell you the truth, especially if you're new to the show. We're going to give you the truth about the Titans. Good,
Yep.
bad, ugly, indifferent.
Yep.
But you're going to get an unbiased opinion here, and you're going to get some raw reporting from us, man. And we might give you some emotion, but hey, we definitely, that's what we're here for, man. We appreciate the weekly family supporting us.
Yep.
Because without y'all, man, we wouldn't be here, dog.
That's right.
Yeah, so.
That's right.
Hawk, yep. All right, Hawk.
All right.
So I'm gonna move to the next segment. I know we were having a little fun, man, talking about Restrepo, man. So I wanted to
That's your
keep our people
boy,
straight.
Doc.
It is.
That's your
Yep.
boy.
Yep. He's turning to be that, man. So, all right. So do we know the Titans have been the laughing stock, the last place in the AFC for the past 2 seasons, right?
Yep.
What does the Titans have to do to get out of the basement, the garbage can, and at least get some respectability back in the AFC South? We've won it plenty of times. How do we get back there? What is the plan to get us back there?
So yes, the last 2 years the Titans have been the worst team in the AFC South, the worst division in football. That's what makes it worse, right? It's like, damn. You know what I mean? And then you realize, like, man, 2 years in a row we've been fourth place in the AFC South. So what the Titans have to do, and hopefully there has been the last 2 seasons, we'll know a little bit more this year. I'm hoping this year's draft will be better than last year's draft, is we need to draft better. And that's been the issue. We haven't drafted well. We've had the worst draft picks in that time frame. And what happens is over time, when the draft picks have to step up year 2 and year 3, that's when you start seeing stuff. So yes, when we were good, in 2019, 2020, and 2021, right? When we were good in those years, it's because not only did we draft incredibly, we also brought in some great free agents as well. And again, when you think of drafts like A.J. Brown, Derrick Henry, those guys, right? Jeffrey Simmons, all those guys made an unbelievable impact. I mean, Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown are Hall of Famers. Like, this is unbelievable. So we haven't had that. We haven't had impact players in our draft over the last 3 or 4 years. Like, it's like, who's an impact player? Who's the guy that can really just change the whole dynamics of the game? We haven't had that. So the problem has been drafts. So my hope is this year and last year's draft will help get us better than where we were over the last 2 years. Because we have been the worst team. We've been the worst team last year in all of football. So the drafts have been the issue. So can Mike Barganzi, can he draft the right folks to come here year in and year out? That's a big job for him. Same with Callahan. Same for the whole staff. In drafting, can we draft better? That's the issue. We haven't drafted well, in my opinion, as to why we've been the worst team in the AFC South for the last 2 seasons. The other teams have drafted a bit better, especially Houston. That's why they've gone from bottom dwellers to top of the division, because they've drafted well. So that's my opinion on it. What about you, John? Why do you think the Titans have been the worst team the last 2 years in the division? What can they do to get better?
Man, it's a hell of a point about the draft, but I think, man, the shakeup of leadership right? Leadership in your front office, man. When John Robinson got fired, this team ain't been right since, right? And fighting for that GM spot, Vrabel was there for a minute, and then all of a sudden you hire Rand Carthon, and then he comes in and tries to add to his draft and to his staff and to his leadership, and then he gets the axe, right? So between that small time frame, when you have your executive leadership and your leadership that's supposed to be drafting right? They're supposed to be bringing in free agents. There's no continuity there. It won't be no continuity when it comes to the team itself, right? Then Vrabel's gone. So then all of a sudden you got to find a new head coach. And then you say, okay, well, Will Levis is our guy. But then all of a sudden Will Levis doesn't pan out, right? And so to your point, the draft, and then but who drafts those players, right? Leaders. You see what I'm saying? So now you lose Vrabel. He's like, okay, hey, Brand, come on, bring us up out the mud. Boom, down the south again. So I think once you equal in leadership and you equal in the draft, it all comes together at the end of the day, right? So yeah, I think man, when you got your leadership like that, dog, it doesn't work, man. It doesn't work. Let me get to some of these comments here.
Okay.
Let's see here. Titan South says coaching. He said we really truly lost our identity without Tannehill and Henry, which once we lost them, and I think there's a small percentage of people that kind of knew on the outside looking in, like, hey, Tannehill ain't it. And Derrick Henry's a Hall of Famer, but at the same time, he can't do it by himself, right? You tell me how many debates I've had about that, put my partners outside of that. Coaching and player development. Let's see here. Yep. And then Titan South, we thought we seen something in Levis, then everything went downhill. And so, and again, those decisions where they're being made, right? Amy, I put a lot of blame on Amy too, right? I'm not gonna let Amy slide on this one. You see what I'm saying? Because she makes quick decisions, and I'm not gonna use that other word, but she makes quick decisions. If you follow what I'm saying, right? And so it adds to that. So, dang, Sean B, you come through with another super chat.
Okay.
my
All
guy,
right.
my guy baller. They said let's not do Rand like that. He didn't even have enough time to see the fruits of his labor. Oh. Sean, if you go back and watch our show, man, we are Rand supporters to the T, dog. I feel like he didn't get a fair shake. Of course, y'all know how we all felt the same way. That's where I go back to my comment about Amy making rash decisions, right? you get what I'm putting down. If you get what I'm putting down, you get what I'm putting down. All right, Sean B.
Sean B. Do-do-do-do.
Boom.
Sean Britton in the building once again. Hey, Sean, we appreciate it, man. We really do,
Yes,
man.
sir.
We really do.
Yes, sir.
So, Jacques,
Appreciate that. Yes, sir.
so shout out again to Sean B, man. Great question, by the way, man. And yes, we've had those thoughts as well as far as Rand, especially with the draft, right? You know what I mean? And we'll see over time how last year's draft pans out. You know what I'm saying? In this year for sure. This year, dividends to be paid this year for sure, right? Going into the season and everything. So, all right. So speaking of the draft, man. So our second round pick, our edge, Femi Oladejo, UCLA, right? Has yet to been signed yet. He has not been signed at this time. So he's still looking for a contract right now and those things. And again, this is our second round pick. How do you feel about that, man? Do you have any concerns? Are you concerned at all right now that he has not been signed yet, man? What's your thoughts?
So, do you know why he hasn't been signed yet?
Talk to me.
So
I do.
there's a trickle down effect that has happened. Keep me honest here. I think there's only 2 second round picks out of the 30 teams that's signed. Correct me if I'm wrong, Hulk. I think so.
Mm-hmm.
There's there. Hey,
I got you.
Okay. So only 2 have signed, and I think one of them was from Houston, and I think there's another player from another team. And what these teams did, they gave them guaranteed contracts. Okay. And for a second round pick, I don't think you're supposed to get a guaranteed contract. You get what you get from your particular contract, but for that second year position that you get picked in the second round. And so Houston shook up the trees. Okay. So now every second round pick from 30 other teams are like, you know what? They got guaranteed money. Why we can't get guaranteed money? What they doing over there? Right.
Right.
Now, Hawk, I'm gonna tell you, your second round pick. We need you, bro. Right? We need you. We need you ASAP. Like, we need you to get signed. But I'm gonna play devil's advocate. These kids are getting smarter. These agents are getting smarter. And they won't guarantee money. And so I'm looking at the business aspect of it. It's like, hey, there's 30 other individual second round picks that are not signed. There's something wrong here. Okay. I've never seen nothing like this before where 30 other kids from other teams have not signed because of these two teams that said, hey, we'll give you guaranteed money. Right. Do I think a contract's going to get done anytime soon? Hell no. Femi's going to lose. If Femi's not signed by training camp, Hawk, he's going to be behind because he needs to get out there learning the right end or left end position. And if you're not learning, you're wasting your time. Now, would I blame that on the Titans? Yes, for drafting them in that position because I didn't have us drafting them in that position. I had us drafting them, but not in a second round pick, right? I think I had us in the fourth. I think it was the fourth round.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it was the fourth round. I was like, nah, he's not worth the second round pick, in my opinion. He's worth the fourth, but hey, to each his own. Do what you got to do. But to see this, the Titans' hands are held too, just like those 30 other teams. So when I'm looking at this is not good, Hawk. This is not good. So I'm concerned. I'm concerned because you lose valuable reps when you're not at training camp. What about you, Hawk?
Yeah, facts, no paper, Jacques. Am I concerned about us not signing Oladejo yet? Absolutely. Yes. And so I know contractually there's a lot of issues right now with these second round picks. You brought that point up for sure. That's definitely the reason why. But, from a team standpoint and even from a player development standpoint, yes, because, we had this question earlier a few weeks ago. I felt that I don't just generally think that Oladejo will start anyway, right? I don't think that, but he's the future of our team. And so you have guys, Sebastian Joseph Day, Arden Key, and those guys, those are veterans. So eventually, as years go on, they're not going to be there forever. So you get guys that you draft in the second round to be your players. Second round picks should start. Second round picks play. So him not being on the field, playing a whole new position, a whole new identity, I'm extremely concerned because Oladejo is a linebacker, folks. Okay.
Yep.
Now he's having to change to defensive end. Why? Because he has athletic prowess. He's got speed. He's got size and those things. But he has been a down the hill linebacker even back in his Cal days. So, so I just think that, I think it is a concern. I do think he'll be behind. And I think eventually, will a contract be signed? To your point, it's going to be a while. I don't think it's going to be right offhand. I think it's going to be a while. It might be when the season starts. That's how off they are on their contracts right now. All the second round picks right now. So, yes, I am. The good thing I would say is because I don't feel he would start, I think we have edge players right now. For right now. But eventually needs to be on the field. Because we need as many players as we can to try to win football games. So, yes, I am concerned. Yes.
Yep. Nope. I agree, Hawk. And again, to add to that point again, I'm hella concerned. And have you ever seen anything like this before? With 30?
Not as many players. No, I mean, you got Shamar Stewart from Cincinnati.
He's the biggest one.
Going back into the draft and playing at Texas A&M next year.
Now, have you heard what that does is when he enters his draft next year, Cincinnati can't even draft him. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. No. They probably wouldn't even want to draft him, probably.
Man, they shouldn't have drafted him. They shouldn't have drafted him. Shout out to New Stripe City. I know they over there kicking the trash can right now, just what they've done. But I'll ask that follow-up question later because I do got a question that it's almost like a trickle-down effect, and I'm seeing certain things happen. So yeah, man. And Weekly Family, put your thoughts in the chat too, man. If you feel like this is you, are you concerned? You're as well as we're concerned. So yeah. So I'm gonna get to our next segment here. Let's go get into a little wide receiver talk. So we know our wide receiver room is pretty stacked right now, right? With some veterans, with some medium players like Traylon Burks, and with some rookies. And we've hearing rumblings about Jawan Jennings, Terry McLean, Romeo Dowds. They want new contracts, right, with their respective teams. And they're not happy. So I can see either one of them get moved before the season starts or throughout the season. Should they be on the Titans' radars just from a talent perspective?
The answer is absolutely. Yes. I do think we should target one of these guys. One, the Titans have the money. We have the salary cap space to sign a receiver, right? Number two, we have a rookie quarterback. He's going to need as much help as he can, right? Receiver group, we're stacked. We have a lot of players, but we need more talent still at receiver, right? We still are going to have battles in those things at the receiver spot. Absolutely, I would bring in another receiver because here's the one thing is, you look at Dobbs, the receiver from Green Bay, he's young, right? And he's not going to cost a whole lot. He'll make more than what he did in Green Bay, right? Terry McLaurin, he's kind of getting about 20, I think about 27, 28. He's starting to kind of come into his prime, right? Terry McLaurin's a hell of a receiver. He is a great receiver. Washington will be a fool to let him go. Thirdly, when you look at, say, Juwan Jennings is from Murfreesboro. He would love to come back home. Juwan Jennings is a dog, okay? So I'm never going to not say we don't need to bring any talent if we got the money. I don't think we're solid at receiver. We don't need no receivers. Shoot. We need help. You know what I'm saying? Again, last year, I know we keep talking about quarterback. Okay, cool. But, when you look at the receivers, we still need help. We didn't make the playoffs. We won 3 football games. So the competition is wide open. It's wide open. We drafted 2 receivers for a reason, all right? If we were that solid, we wouldn't have drafted that many receivers, right? So I think why not bring them in? Compete, sign some contracts, see what's up. Let these guys battle, bring in talent. So absolutely, I'd be interested at least in one of them. We got the money, maybe a 2-year deal for one of these guys, and I'd go from there, man. So what about you, Jacques? Do you think we should be interested in any of these free agent receivers?
Should be, but in reality, we ain't. I'll be honest with you. I just know how Berganzi moves. You don't bring in 2 receivers and then sign a veteran receiver here and this receiver. I would like to. I would specifically like to bring Jawan home because Jawan is a Blackman product. Like you said, he's right down the street from me. I coach for Blackman, so he just had his camp or what now. So shout out to Jawan Jennings. He'll be a great addition to this receiving core. And like you said about Dobbs, it's the same thing. But wish list, hell yeah, bring him in. Reality, that ain't happening. And I'll take that back. Only way it'll happen is if Calvin really gets hurt, Tyler Lockett gets hurt. If one of those 2 receivers get hurt, I'm seeing them on the phone with Washington or San Francisco or even Green Bay because Green Bay owes one anyway. So I definitely can see if that happens. So I say training camp, give training camp some time, right? Because you don't want to go in there with, I think we got a total of 3 rookies, 3 veterans technically with Traylon Burks. And sometimes I don't even want to count Traylon Burks because he ain't even really put on no work like that. Shout out to Traylon Burks anyway. But you got 2 veterans, right? When Calvin Ridley and Tyler Lockett. And then you have the rest of like second year guys that I'm like, they're just a bunch of dudes, in my opinion. So it depends on which direction they want to go. So I say, yeah, you should be interested in them. I say be on the radar. In reality, if nobody gets hurt in training camp or preseason, man, we ain't looking at them. But if somebody does, they'll probably be on the phone with one of them teams to go ahead and trade or do what they got to do. Now, I'll say this too. If I'm looking at this year's draft and I'm looking at the receivers that are coming out, if I see something that's younger and quicker and fresh legs, I'll do that versus them because they're a little old in the 2. Not old, but in football years, you're quote unquote old, if that makes sense. So, to answer your question, yes, you should be interested. In reality, would it happen? Hell no. I just don't see it happening. But if it does happen, is somebody gets hurt in training camp or somebody gets hurt in the preseason. And that's why you don't play Calvin Ridley or Tyler Lockett. There you go, right? And I'm going to be honest with you, Talk. I want to see our rookies develop. My mindset has changed about a lot of stuff, especially now I'm coaching now. I want to see them get chemistry with Cam. I know how a lot of people feel. Not a lot of people. I know how some people feel that, hey, we need to bring in talent now to get the rookie quarterback up to speed. But if my rookie quarterback can get chemistry with Alec, DK, Restrepo, and who else is coming in as the second year, man, you only going to grow together, right? I'm not opposed to bringing any of them in, but I like where we're going as a team and as a culture. So, yeah, bro. Yeah. Oh, I got a follow-up question. I want to ask you. In the future, do you see what's happening with Femi and those 30 other draft picks happening in the future?
Yes, I
You
do.
see happening more and more.
Yeah, I do think that unless they change, or if there's a new collective bargaining agreement that will allow those things to sort of happen with the second round. The issue was from last year when they started to allow second round picks to get big time guaranteed contracts like they were first round picks. That's what's changed everything, right? And it's been a tree effect ever since then. So I do think if it's not for next year, if it doesn't change, the bargain agreement or anything that they can bring up, and making things change is going to happen again next year. Yes. And I think it'll happen for third round picks too next year. But if they change that, they change how they do, signing their rookies and things like that. I think eventually they'll come to the meetings in the mind. It happens every like 5 years where there's like a major shift and change as far as the draft picks and how much they make up front. The key, I think, for second round picks, they're trying to get as much money as they can right now, right? Instead of down the road. Because when their rookie contract is over, a lot of them, they either don't make the team or they just sign whatever. So right now they like, look, man, let me go get my money right now or whatever. So I do think next year, if it hasn't changed, yes, we're going to have the same issue next year. What about you?
What about? Yeah, I do. I think NIL is going to affect that too. It's affecting it now, but I think it's NIL as it continues to grow with because I look at NIL like how you just said with the contracts growing and the guaranteed money. It's the same thing, especially with these star players that are moving around like that. And I'm gonna tell you what the solution should be is having these players fall in love with football kind of early, right? Something that I'm noticing in the youth space. Now, Hawk, I'm coaching football in the youth space now, and it's probably like this. It probably was like this too when you was coaching. But one thing I'm noticing is the love of the game is not there. These kids barely watch football. I don't even know if you knew that. These 5 and 6 year, I coach 6U. These 5 and 6 year olds are not watching football like that, man. Right? So when you're introducing them to the game, they're just there. And as they continue to get older and they get better, they got talent, but they don't love the game. And then you give them a little money, you be like, okay, cool, I'm doing this because I like it, but I don't love it, right? And I think you got to get these young men, young boys back to loving the game of football. And if we can do that, then you'll be like Shador. So I use Shador and Cam, for example. They got NIL money, but they love the game of football. And you can see it of how much they love it. And I think if you can get that, and I understand the money aspect, man, imagine when we played, man, you getting paid, right? You see what I'm saying? Like like how many people back in the day got in trouble because they were getting money under the table. Now they're getting paid. Now you saying, okay, hey, go do your thing. So yeah, I think it'll get worse. We'll see. But hold on. IR Hoshi, what up, bro? He said our wide receiver room is already taking 2 steps up. No point in adding another vet. Let's see. Jack Ripper, our wide receiver is nice in his opinion. So it looks like, man, a lot of the Titans weekly people and just period seem like our wide receiver room is better than what we had last year. Do you think it's better than what we had last year, Hawk?
Yeah, of course. I totally agree with that. I do think as a group, we drafted two rookies, right? And again, we'll see how they are. They're unproven until we see what they do on the field. But yeah, I do think we have a better receiver room than what we did post D Hop, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not prior to D Hop. You had D Hop in the mix. Mm-hmm. It's give and take, but after D Hop was gone, then you just had Calvin Ridley and you had NWI. So we're basically saying these guys will be better than NWI. We'll see. Right. The question I have about the receiver room, all I'm asking is, do we feel comfortable? Like we good? We don't need no receivers. We straight. Like we gonna be all right. And see, that's what I don't feel. I feel like if there's an interest in one of these guys, because I look at Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley is a hell of a ball player. He had a great season. I think this year Calvin Ridley's going. He's going to jump off the roof this year. If he stays healthy, Calvin Ridley. I mean, at one point in his career, he had 1,500 yards with the Atlanta Falcons. So it's not like he's not used to performing, right? And I think Calvin Ridley could have a season like that this year if they block up front, they run the right scheme, and they coach correctly. I think Cam could get him the football. But I think too, Cam Ward's not getting any younger. So it's over a particular time, say if you sign one of these guys aren't particularly old. They're 27. You know what I'm saying? You get a guy maybe come here 2 or 3 years that might could take Calvin Ridley's place in maybe 2 or 3 years or whatever like that and can add to that. I feel like anything's wide open on our team just really based on what I felt the roster was last year. But that's my thoughts.
I think for me, I'm homegrown. I think I like what we did in the wide receiver room. And like you said, it's yet to be proven. But I'm gonna look at Irioshi, and I can tell you've watched film on Cam because I've seen the same exact thing. You give him 4 to 5 receivers to work with, he gonna make something shake, right? And
Right.
so, like he said, yeah, I can tell you've been paying attention. Ir Cam did say this exact statement. When I hear this, and that's what a lot of Cam's coaches have said, man, let him do his thing, right? I have a player like that on my team. Like, let him do his thing, right? We can coach him, but if it works for him, let it work. So again, we've done the veteran receiver thing. I like it, but at the same time, I think the league itself is going to a direction where I see them. I'm not just the Titans, but the league is wanting homegrown talent, right? Because Washington shouldn't let Terry McLaurin go. They shouldn't. But for
they
some
signed
reason,
they did sign a free agent in
they
Debo.
Debo Samuel's right, right.
Philadelphia
But
signed AJ Brown.
now,
Free agents still get picked now.
to your point, if they don't get traded this year, they might be free agents next year. So you might have an opportunity because Calvin is it'd be 2 years on his deal. If you want to get out of that deal, cool. But you run a risk because you pay another receiver, right? Jawan Jennings to me is a good X receiver and a good wide, but can he be my main focal point? Out of all 3 of them, Terry is the best one, in my opinion. He has proved it to say, okay, I'll pay Terry big money. Dobbs, you're a supporting receiver. Hawk, I'm not breaking the bank for that. Jawan, I'll bring you home, but I'm not breaking the bank for that, brother. And I know how these receivers think. They won't guarantee. Look at Sauce Gardner just got paid. He only got 3 interceptions. They're in that mindset now. So I would rather say I'll stay home. I'll work with what I got. If I can develop them, cool. If I can't develop them, then we need to go out and get homegrown others' talent elsewhere. And I hope, I pray and hope he turns out like Calvin, because I'm not going to even do Calvin like that. Shout out to you, Calvin. If you're watching the show, my brother, you got 1,000 yards with Will Levis. Like your point, Hawk, he going to go off. He going to be blazing, bro. He going to be dangerous. He going to be dangerous.
Yep. And think if we didn't have Calvin Ridley, because Calvin Ridley's not homegrown. You know what I'm saying? So to your point, now I mentioned earlier, I agree with you financially, right?
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't break the bank on Dobbs or Jennings, but I do think they'll make more money somewhere else, and I think we could pay them. But I'm not thinking like, hey, let's just throw a bunch of money at them because they have not proven neither one of them to be WR1, right? You know what I'm saying? So I agree.
Yeah.
And even Terry McLaurin, I'm not sitting there saying to throw a whole lot of money at him. I would pay him more than those other guys for sure. But I'm not going to break the bank because, we paid Calvin Ridley pretty well.
We did.
Off a year that Calvin Ridley didn't even play the year prior to that. He played with the Jags, but, he missed a whole year, right, for gambling and other things. And then he had a really good season with Jacksonville, and we paid him a lot of money or whatever. So to your point, I'm not going to throw a whole lot, but we probably could pay them probably $1 million or so more than what they're getting on their current team. You know what I mean?
Give me a Tyler Lockett contract. I'll take a Tyler Lockett contract with them any day. If that's the case. I know that's I know. And even with Calvin, we ran a risk with him too. You think about it.
Yeah, we did.
We signed him. It was a risk. That's why I say that, does the risk outweigh the reward? Sometimes it does. Sometimes it does. Like AJ is an anomaly because he went in there, he did his thing. But when I look at like Debo, am I expecting him to do anything with Washington? Not really. I'm just gonna be straight honest with you. Even though he got paid, I just don't see it, bro. That Joker looked like a fullback running routes. Like he's just doughy, man. So
yeah, I got you, man. All right.
Sure.
Well, listen, y'all. We are at our favorite part of the show, y'all. The live chop up. As you all know, man. Listen, we want to give you all an opportunity to sit at the table, man. Cut up the ingredients. Throw questions out there for us. You do know, man, if you throw the super chat out there, your question will supersede any other question that's on the table. Hey, this is our favorite part of the show. I'm with it, man. Let's go,
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead and throw that first question out there. I'm going back to see if I see any questions, which I don't. I mean, if you see a question, yes, sir. Go ahead.
Question for you. Okay. All right. Talk to me about Restrepo. I know you're very, very high on him, and that's cool. Like, hey, rock with him. Like, I feel you. You know what I'm saying? Because there's certain things that Restrepo is doing that I really like. And, he's putting in work. I think he's arguably, besides Shiloh Sanders, is the most talked about free agent that's in the league. No question about that. It's Restrepo and Shiloh Sanders for sure. And for right reasons. I get it. You know what I mean? Because Restrepo would have been drafted. It wasn't just for his 40 time. That's what hurt him and didn't get him drafted. But he had the numbers, he had the accolades and those things. And Miami, the University of Miami, was the number one offense in the country last year. Number one in the country, right? And he was a big part of that. So I know we talked about like him making the team, and I know you might have asked those questions when I was in internet jail, right? Well, just give us your overall thoughts of Restrepo as far as him as a player and those things. Like, will he make a difference? We talk. I think we talk about Restrepo more than our drafted rookies. Mm-hmm. I do. So tell me what do you think overall about Restrepo?
So first of all, Restrepo should have been drafted, right? There's been receivers out there that's had worse 40 times that's gotten drafted, right? Yep. Restrepo, what he lacks size and he lacks speed, as they say. But I don't know if you heard me the kind of comparison of Julian Edelman and what's his name? Wes Welker, right? When I look at Restrepo, he reminds me of them. And when I say reminds me of them, I think one of them was an undrafted free agent. One of them played quarterback. But the work ethic that they have and that they did is ridiculous. To IR Hoshi's point, we still got Mason Kinsey on the team. We got these other low-level receivers that I think Restrepo is way better, right? He's more of a possession receiver, but he holds the record, I think, for most wide receiver yards at Miami, the U. And you know what type of receivers came from the U. Mm-hmm. Second, him and Cam's chemistry, you can't beat it. I call them the poor man's Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow, okay? And how it happened, right? Because they're the poor man version of that. And they look like they're a little bit more dirtier than them. They're the clean version of if I'm going to pair a receiver and a quarterback, I'm going to do it. The advantage that Restrepo has, he has Cam. Cam knows the tendencies. Now, another thing that I like that he's doing, he's up early with Cam. He's putting in the work with Cam. These two already got chemistry, so you're like, well, doggone it. He's in his playbook. He just went to a clinic, Ocho Cinco's little wide receiver clinic, and he's running routes against Tyreek Hill. He's learning. I'm hearing him talking to Jamar Chase, and Jamar Chase is mentoring him. He's building relationships. So when I talk about talent, I'm a little bit different now, man. I'm telling you, man, something has happened to me. I don't know what it is. But when I say I just don't want an overall athlete as a football player anymore. How do you prepare, right? Are you listening? Are you learning? Are you picking up the playbook? What are you doing to be a better pro, right? Now, what does that sound like, right? You hear that from the Titans front office. You see what I'm saying? And right. He fits the culture. If all the Titans players were like him, dude, we'll win a Super Bowl tomorrow because of the preparation, right? Along with the talent. Look what L'Jarius Sneed doing. What are you doing? Nothing, right? I'm getting well. Okay, cool, right? We need you out there. So when I'm looking at Restrepo, I'm like, hey, DK's kind of doing it. Elick is kind of doing it. He's with what's his name down there. But I'm like, Restrepo, how did you even get invited to Ocho Cinco's camp? You see what I'm saying? Elick and DK should have been there over him. That makes sense? Where's Calvin? Why Calvin not there? So, and I'm not saying they going in to learn, but that tells me his mindset. He has a different mindset, man. And him and Cam's mindset are the same. And he was undrafted. He got that dog in him. So, I'm starting to like. At first, I was like, when we got drafted, I was like, okay, it's cool. Then I start seeing him progress in what he's doing. I'm like, you know what? I'm starting to become a fan. Okay, now I'm rooting for you, bro. We still got Mason Kinsey on this team, and I'm like, okay. So if you keep Mason Kinsey over Restrepo, what are we doing? Okay. That just tells me Restrepo gonna probably go somewhere and do okay, right? But yes, I think Restrepo, man, he deserves a shot. Now he'll get his shot. He's gonna get his shot in preseason. He will get his shot.
That's what I want to see. I give him, credit as far as working out, doing those things, even at the camps and those things or whatever, just being, just being around, putting in the work and things like that or whatever. Does that mean you're gonna be a successful NFL player? Not necessarily, right? But he's putting in the work. I do see that. And once camp starts, I'm going to really look at, kind of what he's about, because the team of receivers, I still feel like he has an opportunity. I don't think our receiver room is just so in lock, right? Like Julio point about Mason Kinsey being on this team, right? That again, that's like you said, he's been on the team for 6 seasons. So it's there. Bryce Oliver, another undrafted guy, 2 undrafted receivers in your receiver room. So the opportunity will be there for him. You know what I'm saying? For sure. So when it happens, we'll see. We'll see what happens. And does that translate to wins? Just because like a guy's an underdog, he does this and things like that. Will it help us win football games at the end of the day? Right? Will that make a difference? Will it make a difference having them on the field? You know what I'm saying? Like with that or whatever. We'll see once camp starts, preseason starts. We will get a chance to see him and everything. I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for any player. I'm rooting for Kenzie. I'm rooting for anybody that can play well enough to get on the field and make a difference for sure. You know what I mean? And so he has been putting in the work. We see it. A lot of players are putting in work. You know what I mean? They are. But I give them props. I give them credit. We'll see what happens. You know what I'm saying? For sure. So
all right. So all right, Yoshi, we got a couple of questions. So we're gonna fire them off. So should we as fans lower our expectation because Cam is a rookie?
I guess the question I have for you, what is the expectation? Mm-hmm. So the expectation that I know we have discussed on our shows, Vegas has the Titans winning 5.5 games. That's not real big expectations. You know what I'm saying? And then I have said, I think right now, as of today, things can change once we see them in the preseason. We are speaking extremely early, but looking at the schedule, I have us winning 6 games. So I don't have big expectations. I have better expectations than we did last year, right? Last year Vegas had the Titans winning 6 games and we won 3. We won 3 games. And I know we talk about execs and everything, but who did they rank as the last quarterback in the league last year? Will Levis. And that's how it played out, right? That's how it played. And we ended up winning only 3 games. So I don't have real big expectations, but I do expect us to be better than we were. We got a super chat. Sean Britton in the building again. Yes, sir.
He says the elephant in the room. What do you think will happen if Will earns quarterback 1? Just curious. What do you think will happen if he goes to another team and ball out? It's going to be the same song with Malik Henry and AJ. All right, let's give him the boom.
Yes, sir. Sean Britton. Do.
Boom.
Sean Britton in the building again. Sean Breezy, we appreciate it, bro.
Okay. I'll take a shot at this.
Go for it.
So, Sean B., let me say this. If Will Levis was going to ball out, if he was going to be that good, we wouldn't have drafted Cam. Okay? Again, when I look at this past season, offensive line wasn't that good. As you say, Hawk talent wasn't there. I look at it pretty different. I look at a team that if I was building a team and I needed to evaluate a quarterback and I need to see him truly and I give him some stuff to do and he starts jacking up like him, I don't trust him. Okay. Do I think he'll get quarterback number 1? No, I don't. I'm sorry. He'll literally have to ball out to the point where he's on a Patrick Mahomes-ish type of run in preseason, right? And I still don't trust it because it's preseason. And you're going against second, third, and fourth stringers. I don't trust him. Okay? You want another 3-2 win season? Start him again, right? You want to start this thing over? Start him again. Now, if it happened and he went to another team and balled out, good for him. Do I see him as a Super Bowl quarterback? No. I see him as a decent, solid backup like Malik. I'm not even going to put Henry and A.J. Brown in this because it wasn't their fault, right? But I look at him just like everybody looks at Malik. It's the same thing. Malik is a backup. Will Levis is a backup. I don't see Will Levis doing anything really in this league besides being a backup. If he was, it would have clicked early. If he was, he would have been a first round pick instead of a second round pick. If he was, it would have clicked early throughout the season. So, great question. But will I think it happened? No. And if he gets traded, good for him. He gets a fresh start. Do I think he'll ball out? We'll see. He's an easy quarterback to evaluate and go against. This is my opinion. What about you, Hawk?
Bro, that's a hell of an answer, bro. I don't really know what else to say. Everything you said is what I would say. I would only add this. We can't compare Will Levis to Derrick Henry and AJ Brown, right? Look what happened to AJ Brown and Derrick Henry. We can't say he's gonna be that good. He's not gonna be that good. You know what I mean? And so could he go to another team and do all right? Maybe, but it's not. I don't think it's gonna be tears in the pillow, right? If we lost him in that regard or whatever. I would personally like to keep Will Levis as a second string quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Compared to the quarterbacks that we currently have. But
Yep.
I don't think he's going to go somewhere and just ball the crap out. And here's the thing. Like I always say, if that happens, whatever, Cam Ward do his thing or whatever, if that don't happen, over years, you keep going until you find the quarterback. When Levis was not the guy, you bring in Cam Ward. In 3 or 4 years, Cam Ward is not the guy. You find your guy till you get the quarterback that you want, or that's going to be the quarterback. And so, no, I don't see that. He ain't A.J. Brown and Derrick Henry.
Nah,
them leaving, we knew like, okay, that's going to be a problem. That's, what I'm saying? Yeah. Derrick Henry and A.J. Brown are Hall of Famers, bro. Yeah.
All right, Hulk, I'm going to go to this next question here. How many passing yards? And if you want to take a shot at it, cool.
Yeah.
If you want to hold it, cool.
Yeah.
How many passing yards and touchdowns do you think Cam Ward going to have this season?
So I'll tell you this, man. I have done some research on this, in my opinion, just looking at the season, looking at, the teams that we play. And I still feel our schedule's not that hard. I really don't. And every year's different. Just because a team is bad on defense this year don't mean they're going to be bad next year. They could be the best defense in the league next year, right? So, but I'm just, before the season starts, when I look at this, I generally think Cam Ward, if he could average around 200 yards, a little bit above 200 yards a game, I think he can do that. I'm going to give him in a 17-game season, I'm going to give him 3,500 yards passing, 3,500 minimum. If he's healthy and he plays all season, I could see 3,500 yards. I can also see about maybe 19 touchdowns as a rookie. Now, when preseason starts, I might tell you something different. I might tell you 4,000. I might tell you 2,500. But as of today, our roster, the defenses we're playing, the schedule that we have, I'm going to say minimum 3,500, minimum touchdowns 19. And I'm going to probably say 12 to 13 interceptions as a rookie. That's kind of where I'm at. What about you, Jacques?
Okay. So I'm just, you ready for this? I'm looking at, and I know sometimes you can't compare college to the pros, but you kind of can. I'm going to say this, about 3,700 yards. And just because Cam is a gunslinger and he likes to throw the ball, I'm going to up it to about 24, 25 touchdowns. Now, that's a little bit more than Joe Burrow. I know Joe Burrow's rookie season was I think he had 37, 4,000 yards or whatnot. And then he had like maybe 19, 20 touchdowns, something crazy. That's going off the bone. But I feel like with Cam, since Cam likes to throw the football around, I feel like they're going to give him my opportunity to make mistakes, and some of those mistakes are going to turn into touchdowns. So I feel that when it comes down to it, he's going to show us something we've really never seen before here, besides Steve McNair and Warren Moon. I think he's going to shock us more than what we kind of giving him credit for. I know our says 4,032 touchdowns, and again, he says he's familiar with Callahan's offense. It seems to be, even when I'm hearing from minicamp and training camp, he knows what he's doing. So, and I think he's going to surprise us. So for me, about 3,700 yards and probably about 25, 26 touchdowns. And that's just the baseline. Again, he can be our first 4,000 yard passer. We don't even know it. That's why I'm saying, man, I don't know, man. I got a unique feeling about this year. It's weird, dude. Brittany got another dog, Sean. My guy. I see him going the Elijah Moore route. Elijah Modern route?
Molden route. Yep.
Elijah Molden.
Sean Breed, can I ask you a question? Who are you speaking about?
Right.
Elijah Molden route. All right. So first, we're going to go Sean Britton. Do.
Boom.
Sean Britton in the building once again with the super chat. Hey, we appreciate it, man. I'm trying to think who you speaking about Elijah Molden route. See him going the Elijah Molden route. I'm thinking. Okay, I'd have to look at the comment. Elijah Molden, he's right now with the Chargers. He's on IR. I just saw that today with the Chargers.
He know his joker stay hurt, bro.
Yeah.
Top tier. I'm going to get to this question. He says, thoughts on Chig this season? I have high expectations for Chig with Cam. He can provide a great target up the seam where Cam likes to live. Man, y'all watch film on Cam, man. I'm proud of y'all, man. Come on, Weekly family.
Hey, top tier. That's a top tier comment, bro. Or ma'am. I'm not sure. You know what I'm saying? So I say this. Elijah Arroyo, the tight end from the University of Miami, who's a second-round pick for the Seattle Seahawks, was incredible last year because Cam Ward was throwing on the football. And Cam Ward really throws a lot to his tight ends, especially down the street, right? And I do think Chig will have the opportunity to do well next year. Chig has the ability. Hands are okay. I'm not gonna say he has great hands. His hands are okay. When the football's in his hands, he's got a lot of speed. He breaks a lot of tackles. He is in that Delaney Walker, mode, Jonnu Smith mode, kind of the same type of players. I don't think he's as good as those guys, but he's got that same about 6'2", 6'3", with a lot of speed, about a 4.65, 4.5 speed that can make things happen. Chig is in that same mode. So I do think Chig will have his career year this coming up season, and Chig is in his final year in his contract. So I do think Chig is going to put it all together this year. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean he's going to make the Pro Bowl, All-Pro, whatever? Probably not. But I would think that he'll have a better season with Cam throwing him the football for sure. So high expectations. I don't have super high expectations because he's got a lot of work to do. I have good expectations for Chig. What about you, Jock?
I got expectations for him. Like you said, I don't have super, super high. Now I will give him credit. He's working with Cam too, so that's something that I'm looking in how they're responding. Him, Calvin, the rookie receivers. That's what I was about to say. Yeah. So
keep going, dog. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, but
going.
you're right. But that's what I was about to get to. You see the difference, right? So I'm like you. I expect his game to elevate in his last year's contract. To your point, Hawk, the Joker might make the Pro Bowl. And our luck, we got Gunnar Ham. So Gunnar Ham will just step up in his place. Because do you want to pay him? You know what I'm saying? Would you want to pay him? I would like to, but it's like, right? So
Right.
All right, Christian McCord. Okay. Hey, how you doing? Do y'all think the Titans will be a surprising team next year? Like they win at least 7 or 8 games. I most definitely think so. Hawk, do you think they'll surprise us and possibly win 7 or 8 games?
So, Christine, I say this. I have the Titans winning 6 games. 6 is 50% more than what they won last year, 3, right? So that's an upgrade. To say 7 or 8 games, 6 and 7 is not that much of a difference, right? So I'd say that I can see the Titans winning 7 games. I can. I do think there's going to be some luck that has to happen for that to take place. Even kind of like the luck that happened last year on the other side of things, right? We had games that we lost, and every NFL the Titans are not special in this regard. There's a lot of teams that deal with that, right? But because we watch our team, we know, right? We see it, right? Minnesota, the Chicago Bears, games that the Minnesota game was a referee bad game for sure. The Will Levis Chicago situation was, that he threw the game away. I mean, just clearly threw the game away. So I think maybe we can have some things to reverse for us to where we can win 7 games. If we won 7 games, I would be happy. I know it's not a playoff team. I know that's not a lot of wins, but y'all, we were number 1 in the draft this year for a reason. And I think from going to 3 to 7 will be good. If we get 8 or more wins, I'm going to be like, wow, dude. That means that next year we're going to be a playoff team. You know what I'm saying? We got to 8 wins after this year. That means if we won 8 games, Cam is killing. Our receivers are killing. Offensive line is on point. Our defense is flying all over the field. I think if we go from 3 to 8 wins in next season, that'll be a big jump. So I think winning 7 games is possible. What about you, Jacques?
It's possible, but I'm going to put my coach's hat on, man. It's hard, right? It's hard to win in the NFL, period.
Yep.
But I would say once we get our eyes on training camp, I can really kind of gauge it a little bit. Not all the way, but I can gauge it a little bit. I think my concern, I know people are not talking about this, but that DB room kind of scares me a little bit, right?
It does scare.
And I'm not going to lie, because it's like you said, it can flip. The offense starts to take a good turn, but does the defense suffer in it, right? Does that make sense? And it's like what we have. So would it surprise me? No, because the Titans are a team that I told you this before, Hawk. They don't surprise anything. I'm not surprised with anything we do, okay? We've been Titans fans almost, 25, 26 years. They've given you heart attacks. They've done stuff. We went to a Super Bowl. Like, other things that would surprise me if the Titans moved to another city. That would surprise me, right? But other than that, like, would it surprise me if they won 6 to 7, 8 games? Not really. My expectations is, like you said, 6, maybe 6-ish. I'm okay with 6 games because that gives us a high draft pick anyway. But I'm okay with 6 games. You exceed what you exceed, whatnot. And if I see progress, and that's another thing with me, if I see progress, if we progress every game and we lose by a field goal, we lose by a small margin, I'm okay with that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm okay with that. Like
Right.
my expectations are low. I'm like, so I mean, it
So
wouldn't surprise me.
we win 11 games. You're telling me you're not gonna be surprised. If we were 11 and
No,
6
because
next year.
it's the Titans, dude. It's the
Okay, so
Titans.
we lose every game. We're 0 and
It would
17.
not surprise. It
So
would
no
not
matter what,
surprise. It.
nothing they do will surprise you. Nothing.
What did I tell you last year?
Okay.
The
All
same
right.
thing I told you
Okay.
last year is the same thing this year. It
All
would
right.
not
We
surprise me.
win we
Hey,
win 11 games. I'm gonna
it
grow hair. I would be
it it
shocked
it,
and
it would
surprised.
it would intrigue me. Let me say that I'll be intrigued. I'll be like, okay, we did it. Cool. Let's keep doing it. That I'm there. I'm like, okay, if we get there, cool. Let's keep doing it. Because I'm telling you, my surprise meter is gone, bro. We got the number 1 pick. I should have been surprised at that. Was it surprised? Not really. Excited? Yes. But surprised? Not really. It's like, okay, hey, we didn't make the playoffs. Okay, cool. Am I surprised? Not really. When you
Okay.
ask me this when we played the Ravens, and we went on that little playoff run, I was surprised. Okay. But this, nah, man, because in today's NFL, Hawk, think about this. You can get things cracking fast. Okay. This is not
Right.
yesteryear's NFL where it takes 2 to 3 years to do this, to do this. If you got the right pieces and things are clicking in the right time, stuff can happen. Jaden Daniels and them, now that surprised me. That surprised me. I was like, oh, how did he do that? What are we going there? Not saying that's going to happen. CJ Stroud, you know how I feel about CJ Stroud. You know that. You know I've called him trash. You know I've said he sucked. You was like, Jock, I don't know, bro. He pretty solid, bro. Da-da-da-da. And I'm like, okay, we're gonna see. That surprised me. I'm like, okay, the Bryce Young. You know how I felt about him too. I'm like, he's not
Yeah.
that good. You like Jock, chill, bro. He's accurate. Watch him. That surprised me. So like stuff like that surprises me. I'm like, okay. But the Titans is just this our team, and man, they just don't. Everything they do is just weird. They the
Okay.
Vegas thing. Vegas is pissed off because we didn't hit the spread.
Yeah, we
What's the
weren't even
Titans?
close. We weren't even close to the spread.
What
That's
you expect?
shocking. That's shocking. But they did get something right though out there is they felt that we had the worst quarterback in the league. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? And they were right because I
Yep.
didn't think 32. I thought maybe 27. I wasn't
Talking
thinking
about with
top
Will Levis.
15. Yeah, maybe 28.
Right.
Because
Now
you
you
had
know how I felt. You know how I felt about him. Yeah.
right. I'm not saying it's far from that. I didn't think like
Yeah.
I'm saying like 28. Like I'm not sitting there saying it should have been 15. I didn't think it would
Right.
be the worst, going into last year because you had Daniel Jones, you had Gardner Minshew, you had a lot of backup quarterbacks starting last year. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So IR Hoshi, this is actually a fun question. He said, "What is your favorite moment of Titans history?" Hawk, what's your favorite moment of Titans history? That's a lot of moments.
Yeah, it is. So, going to the Super Bowl for sure. I mean, again, we live in Nashville. We live here, so we see it. You know what I'm saying? And then that same year, I was young. I was a young adult actually when they went to the Super Bowl. And and at that time, I would go to different places. I saw, Javon Curse and Samari Rose, Steve McNair, Eddie Joe. We have met these guys. You know what I mean? And at the time when they went to the Super Bowl, the Titans were up here. They were like walking legends, literally all of them. It was amazing to see these guys at that time. Like walking to see Javon Curse at a bar. Like I can't believe that's Javon Curse. That's unbelievable, right? Like you get starstruck for real. So my favorite moment was going to the Super Bowl, and I say my favorite game moment was watching Derrick Henry run 99 yards for the touchdown against the Jags. I lost my voice. I couldn't believe what I saw. So those are mine. What about you, Jacques?
Of course, the Super Bowl. I mean, if you wasn't alive then when the Super Bowl, and you have that's crazy. You have Titans fans that were born that year, right? Or Titans fans that were born after that. You, like you said, you had to be here. You had to experience it. The run that we went on, because that was the first year we were officially the Titans. To have a legend, that's why I say surprising stuff. Like we didn't know we were going to Super Bowl, and how we went there and how we got there. That whole playoff run was legendary, bro. That was legendary. From the Bills games to the Colts games to the Jags game, that was legendary. And then we get there and we lose by, the yard, but we were at the Super Bowl and it was in Atlanta. It was 4 hours away. So to have that feeling and how it was, man, you can't beat it. Now, one of my other favorite moments was the playoff run that we had against when we beat the Ravens. I never forget specifically that moment because me and Hawk were the only two Titans fans in America that said we were going to beat the Ravens. And we got hell for that. We were the only two. I never forget. We went to the Titans Blitz.
Yep.
And I told Hawk, I said, hey, bro, I think we can beat them. And we sit in the car and we watch film. And you like, bro, you're right. If we do this, we good. And it happened. And I said, man, I can't believe we just beat these jokers, man. It's wild times, dog. Wild times.
And we couldn't stop saying it, bro. We was like, hey, we're going to beat the Ravens, dog. Hold on. We're going to beat the Ravens. I'll be at work and I'll be eating a cheese sandwich. Hey, man, we're going to beat the Ravens, bro. Like, we're going to beat the Ravens. And so many Ravens fans. And I get it. You know, they were the favorite or whatever. What we saw on tape, I was like, hey, man, it's easy to beat the Ravens, bro. And we got the talent to do it.
Yep.
We did it.
We did it, bro.
Yeah. Right outside Nissan Stadium when we saw that, I said, hey, yeah.
We did. Yep. Cadero says, hey, guys, what's up? They came out with the top 10 quarterback this year. On a scale of 1 to 10, what are the chances Cam Ward would be mentioned in the top 10 quarterbacks next year? Hawk, do you think he has a shot to be mentioned in the top 10 conversation next year?
As a rookie, man, you know, the only guy that's in there that's a second-year player at the top 10 was Jaden Daniels. Everybody else are established veterans, playoff guys. So I'm going to say no, not next year. It'll take some time. Can he ever get there? Yes, he can. But I don't know next year. You know what I mean? The quarterbacks that are in there are playoff winning quarterbacks, all of them. And so I don't think so. Not next year, top 10. If he was to be top 10 next year, he'll be rookie of the year. And the Titans would probably have won 9 games, something crazy, just like Jaden Daniels did or whatever. So I don't think so next year. What about you, Jacques?
He has the potential. And again, but I have to see it. I have to see it this year. If he wins rookie of the year, and he has his stat line is crazy, possibly he has to have a Jaden Daniel year to do that. And even with Jaden Daniels, I'm gonna say this: I will not be solidified until I see him this year, right? If he continues what he's done this year, what he did last year, then I can be like, yeah. Or is it a fluke, right? What do we have? Can it happen? Cam has been an underdog all his life, so it wouldn't surprise me if it happened. Not saying it will, but I'm gonna go off the limb and say it's a possibility. You never know, right?
You got it. Yeah, yes or no? What do you think? Yes or no for next year, top 10? And I can go over the list of the top 10 quarterbacks that got listed.
Nah, you don't have to because I already know. I already know probably's in there. Right. I would say no for now. But I got a feeling about Cam, bro. I do not know why. I don't know why. And I think I'm a little bit more confident in him than you are a little bit. And I guess because I've studied this joke. I've never studied somebody. They ought to pay me for this. I've studied just him, just as a human being, as a person. Bro, do not be surprised if he shocks you, Hawk. I'm telling you, dog. Like, and I know it's PTSD of being a Titans fan. I get it. But it's just something about you said not for you.
No, that's not why I'm putting him not putting him in the top 10.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
hard.
saying next year. I'm saying it's really gonna be based upon wins. The top 10 quarterbacks that's top 10 are all playoff quarterbacks. Yeah. So if the Titans make the playoffs and something happens, but I don't expect that to happen. So that's why I'm saying not next year. I don't think not so much him as a player, as a rookie. So I just, but we'll see. I mean, we'll see.
Shit, that's what they said about Jaden Daniels. I'm telling you, bro. It's hell, Bo Nix too. Didn't Bo Nix make the playoffs?
He did, but he makes the top 10.
But he still made the playoffs.
I know. What I'm saying, we're saying top 10.
I know.
Top 10 quarterback.
CJ Stroud, I know he ain't in the top 10.
He wasn't in the top 10 either. That's what I'm saying. That's a hell of a list. The top 10 is a hell of a list.
But I know when it comes to playoffs, they can take I don't know, bro. I got a feeling. I got a feeling, dog. I do not know where this feeling is coming from. But I got a feeling. Shout out to my guy. I forgot his name. Man. I seen him. Man. He's a follower of the show. Man, I was chopping it up with him in the shoe store. He watches the show. He was talking about Cam, and he was like, "Man, I think Titans fans. A lot of Titans fans are being super positive about this thing. I've really never seen this much positivity with one player. And what I'm looking at, Hawk, is I know he hasn't played a quote unquote down in the NFL. But at the same time, when I'm looking at this, when you compare Will, I'll use Will Levis for a case study. When Will Levis got drafted, I'm going to say this. What you kept hearing, he got a big arm. He's physical. He's this. I feel like his hype was a little bit more there, and everybody, he can take us to here. I'm like, Now, you know how I felt, Hawk. Y'all remember you said it, Jock, you don't like Will Levis, do you? No, it's not that I don't like him. I just see what he is. He's not good to me, in my opinion. And I could have been totally wrong, or I've been right. Latter part, I was right. He was not that good. When I'm evaluating talent, when I'm looking at somebody that's went to 4 freaking schools, or 3 freaking, no.
3
Was
schools.
it 4? 3?
3?
Yeah, when he went to 3 schools and how he's
Hit
progressing.
that like button, by the way, like Jack Ripper said, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And when the Titans organization as a whole sees that, and when they're seeing what I'm seeing, I'm like, nah, bro, you just don't get picked number 1 for no reason. And we missed up all these draft picks, and then he gets in mini camp, and he gets in training camp, and I'm hearing Calvin Ridley and your peers talk about you. Just hide it. I'm just going to say this. Ward, if you watch the show, bro, keep doing what you're doing. As I tell my son plays 6U, make him talk about you, okay? That's one. Make them talk about you, because once they get to talking about you, keep playing an underdog role, shut everybody up. That's how I look at it. I can be totally wrong, or I can be totally right again, but we will see. Let me see what Xavier Ward has played a lot of football and consensus. Way better talent prospect than we've had in a long time. I agree. Like, Hawk, tell me when the last time we've had not running back, not wide receiver, but quarterback. When is the last time we've had a quarterback prospect with the Titans that has been this proven?
Well, as far as accolades, Vince Young and Steve McNair had way more accolades than Cam Ward as far as on the field accolades. You know what I'm saying? I think. You know what I'm saying? Those two. You know what I'm saying? Vince Young and Vince Young was a Heisman Trophy winner and the national champion.
Mariota was too.
Right. That's true. That's right. Mariota too. That's correct. He was Heisman Trophy. That's true. That is true. So we have had that. And here's the thing too. They were all picked early in the draft, first pick. So and it was a need. So Cam Ward, we had the number 1 pick in the draft. So we had no choice but to draft the quarterback, even though for many months, many draft experts felt that, and many people, except me and Jacques, many people were saying we need to draft more players. We need to get more depth. And I understand that because, again, our roster is questionable. I understand it. I do. But when you have the number 1 pick in the draft, you better draft your quarterback, the best quarterback in the draft. And then when people were saying that Cam Ward was clearly the best quarterback in the draft, the New York Giants should pick him at number 2 or number 3. I'm like, okay, why would they pick him and not us? And he's that type of a prospect. If he's that good of a prospect, you draft him. And that's what they did.
Yep. And people, me and Hawk, we've been talking about this since October, Hawk. We were the only two that were talking about Cam. Hawk, can you think of anybody else that was talking about Cam at that moment?
Nope. October. All we ask y'all to do, go do some research. October 30th, we said the Titans need to draft Cam Ward. And we felt then, I mentioned it on the show, dog. I was like, hey, my season's done, bro. And we were only in like 7 games. Said, no, we're done, bro. We're bad. We're a terrible football team. We suck. We need to draft a quarterback, and it should be Cam Ward. And we've been saying, Jacques and I have been saying Cam Ward since October 30th.
Bro. Hitting the gavel, dog. Hitting the gavel. I mean, and everybody, like you said, trade the pick or Shedeur Sanders. Dale Carter. It's like, y'all smoking a bag. That was my thing. I was like, y'all smoking a bag. Okay, but like you said, now
TA's okay. Shout out Titan Anderson.
So real quick, Tyler Scott's drafting Ward really early. How early though, Jack? That's my next question. How early? Like, how early? Because me and Hawk were looking at Cam Ward tape and games for a minute. Now, I want to get to this Mariota comment. He said, yeah, Mariota, but we failed him, in my opinion. Hawk, do you think we failed Mariota, or is Mariota what he is? That makes sense?
Mariota was Mariota before he broke his leg against the Jags. And I think that changed everything for Mariota. I think he was trending. But do I think Mariota was an absolute definite franchise quarterback? I do not think so. I don't think we did make the playoffs and we did beat the Chiefs. That's when they found out that they had a running back that I said as a rookie, Derrick Henry should be on the field. I got shows that Derrick Henry should be on the field. But I think Mariota, before he broke his leg, was a very good quarterback. I don't know if we failed him or he failed himself. I just think he just never got that confidence back after breaking his leg. And I think that was the issue. So, no, I don't think the Titans failed Mariota. I think the Titans have failed other quarterbacks. I think the Titans have failed Vince Young. And I think BY did some stuff on his own too. Now, I'm not saying it's all Titans. Some things that BY could have done better. I'm not sitting there telling you Jake Locker was some franchise off the chain quarterback either, but I think there's some failures that we did with Jake Locker as well too. I do think their quarterbacks, Steve McNair. I think we failed Steve McNair. So you know what I'm saying. So I don't know about Mariota. I don't think so. You, Jacques?
No, I don't. And I think even when we first started this show, man, we talked about him and how he had a chance, right? Did they build around him? Not really, right? But when he was coming out of Oregon, you kind of seen what he was, right? That Oregon is run friendly, run and shoot, run and go routes, boom, throw it deep. In the NFL, you have to be better than that, right? And so if you follow his career, he's been okay, right? He's been a backup, he's been a career backup, but he's been okay. And so I see where surface level, if you look at it, you'd be like, yeah, the Titans failed him. But if you break down and you actually look at his film and how inaccurate he is, how inconsistent he was, like I think that was my biggest complaint with him. He would have one good game and he'd be like, "Man, he okay, Mary, I see you," and then it'll be like, "What happened?" Right? Then you have one good game and then what happened? And so I think give him great because he's a good guy, but I just don't think the Titans failed him. Yeah, coaching could have been stable, but when Vrabel got there, what did Vrabel do? Vrabel didn't play. Vrabel seen the writing on the wall. He said, "Nah, you're not the guy, dog. Go get Tannehill," right? And they gave him a shot. And I remember the game that they gave him a shot.
That's a great analysis, bro. Keep going, bro.
Yeah, they gave him a shot and they pulled him when A.J. Brown tried to help him. And I remember that game he was playing Denver and he didn't have a good game. And A.J. was frustrated and he was pissed off because he was like, "That's my quarterback." And y'all took him and y'all did what you did with him. And at that moment, I kind of knew it's a wrap for him. It's a wrap.
Yep.
But go ahead. What you about to say?
And look what happened, right? We made it to the championship game. So, and the question would be, okay, if Mariota was a quarterback instead of Tannehill, would we have made it that far? Absolutely not.
Not right. Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Tannehill, I think is very sometimes underappreciated in a lot of ways. Tannehill that year too led the league in QBR too. That's what's so crazy. Yeah. But Tannehill's deep ball, off play action, of course, was awesome. Was amazing. Amazing. Mariota didn't have that
at all. Yeah. I remember me and you, Hawk, you talked about it and how he's with his deep ball. It's just like this.
Yep.
And two. Yep. And so he never had the arm strength. It didn't, and that don't have nothing to do with it. He broke his leg. You can say that, but at the same time, it's like, nah, we didn't evaluate that right. And I get it at the time, like you said, we needed a quarterback, but I just think sometimes you got to take accountability. And I think his last stop was with Atlanta. Was it with Atlanta?
Washington.
It was with Washington. You're right, because he got in the game for Jaden Daniels. It was Washington. And I mean, even then, you kind of know.
Atlanta. He was starting quarterback when the season started for Atlanta.
He was. With Arthur Smith, too, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yep, with his old offensive coordinator. So that tells me when you got your old OC and you still can't pick it up, man, I just think he's another one that football might not be your thing right now, man. Like, it just kind of is what it is. Go ahead and sell off in the win. But again, he's a nice dude. He's a very nice dude.
Right. We'll go a few more questions, y'all. Hey, first of all, we appreciate everybody rocking with us, man, during this entire. We hope that you all are having a good time as much as we are, because I'm having a ball. I love, bro. This show could go on 5 hours, man. We could talk Titans all day, but hey, I'm having a great time. We appreciate everybody with the comments and listening in for sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He said Vince, and you know what? I actually would have liked to seen this happen. Vince would have been okay if we would have kept McNair and had Vince Young behind him. I think Vince Young, McNair would have been able to almost look at McNair as his big brother. He's like, okay, I'm going to learn from my big brother. And I think he would have made him more mature, right? But he didn't have that. And then on top of that, Jefferson didn't want VY. We know that. You know what I mean? He wanted Matt Leinart. And when you know somebody doesn't want you, it really kills your motivation. You know what I mean? What up, King guys?
What up, King Isaac?
What up?
Hey, good question, First Class Kings, by the way, for sure.
Yes, sir. But
Yeah,
yep,
man.
yep. That was a great question. I thought about. I actually thought that was how it was going to go. Hawk until he went to the Ravens. I was like, man, Tannehill was our second best quarterback.
Christine Mack, what's happening?
Yep. Statistically, the very best. Yeah, he didn't show up in the playoffs, but he should have been
More
more
appreciated.
appropriate. Appreciated.
Yeah.
Again, with Tannehill, and I think Hawk, we should have seen this. And I heard from my boy who's a Dolphins fan. He's like, man, he said he's gonna get you out there, but then he's gonna hit a ceiling eventually, right? And so it's like, man, okay, damn. And he hit his ceiling. And I think, and I'll never forget, I was at the playoff game, man, and right then and there, I told my peoples, I said, man, this might be the last time we get to go to something like this. A Titans home playoff game might not happen again in a long time. And
That's right.
yeah,
That's right.
he said, "Will I be the new?"
I'm gonna respond to that comment. So, Christine, I will say this. All right, I've halfway agree and halfway disagree. The agreeing part, based on history for the Titans, yes, because you have Steve McNair and Ryan Tannehill. I can see that for sure, right? Based on success, for sure. Oilers/Titans, absolutely not, because you got Warren Moon and you got Steve McNair. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I agree with you, and I know where you're coming from. But as an organization, Warren Moon is arguably the best player that's ever played in this organization. Bruce Matthews, those guys for sure. But yeah, I get you. I understand what you're saying. I got you. All right.
Yep. All right. What did he say? Let me see. Oh, Sean B with another $10 super chat.
All right.
Sean B, we appreciate it, brother.
Yes,
he said,
sir.
I agree. I want there's bim boom, bro, and I'll read it.
All right. Sean Britton. Do.
Boom.
Sean Breezy once again in the building. Appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. He says, I agree. I wonder how it would have been if we would have kept Tannehill and drafted Cam instead.
It would have been bad.
Yeah, it would have been the same. It would have been the same.
Tannehill was falling off, man. Tannehill fell off. And Tannehill was definitely a benefactor with Derrick Henry as running back and A.J. Brown as receiver.
That's no paper.
Do y'all understand that we had A.J. Brown and Derrick Henry? It actually makes me cry sometimes, man. Oh, let me ask y'all a question. If I ask this question again down the road, it is what it is. All right. So I think Tannehill still would have been where we are now. All right, Jacques, this is a hell of a question I'm about to ask. Mm-hmm. Looking at it now, where we are today, and I want y'all to answer this question too. What was the biggest loss, Derrick Henry or A.J. Brown?
A.J. Brown, in my opinion.
Same
because you can replace a running back. And I'm not knocking anything with the King. If you notice, we still got 1,000 yards with TP.
Yep.
But
that's right.
when it comes to a dominant wide receiver, a top 5 wide receiver in the league, you don't come about that every day, if that makes sense. So for me, AJ Brown.
Wow, AJ, that's Toya P. I see you. Oh wow, First Class Kings, guys, AJ. I agree, and I've been feeling that way, like because AJ is still a young guy, right? Mm-hmm. He's only 27 years old. He's already won a few Super Bowls now, and he's one of the main reasons. I mentioned too. Shout out to Blaze of Fire, IR Hostel. What's up, y'all? Definitely. Ooh, everybody saying AJ. That's crazy. But again, like it was a devastating loss, LaToya. It was, man. Like, man, AJ is dominant. Jacques, I told y'all might disagree with me, and that's okay. I said this before I found out the PFF rankings, Jacques. You know I said this. I said AJ Brown is the best wide receiver in football. I said that a month ago. PFF has him as the number 1 receiver going into 2025. PFF ranks him number 1 over Jamar Chase, over Justin Jefferson, because A.J. Brown is dominant. A.J. Brown is a winner, literally. You literally throw him the football. He can throw a 5-yard hitch to A.J. Brown. That's a touchdown. It could be a touchdown at any time. He don't have to run a fly route. This guy makes plays, and Philadelphia Eagles have won Super Bowls because of him. And I said during Super Bowl, when he got mad and pissed off at the sidelines, what did I say, Jacques? Oh, next drive, he's scoring a touchdown. I guarantee you that. And he did that. I said, I told y'all. A.J. Brown, to LaToya's point, devastating loss. A.J. Brown for me. Sorry if I'm a little passionate. AJ was my dude, man.
Nah. You good. I get it, man. I
Yeah.
get
So
it. Yeah. I can't hear you. I can't. Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, AJ was a big loss, man. And again, the way it happened, yeah. Yep, the way it happened, I think that's the worst trade in NFL history.
Yeah, definitely. It's
think.
definitely an argument for sure. I know there's other teams I've heard when I've said that. Man, you forgot about this one. I said, okay, that's cool. That AJ hurt us, bro.
Titan says, do y'all think we would have won a Super Bowl if we would have stopped Mahomes running the AFC Championship? We had AJ Brown that year too.
Yeah.
We had Derrick Henry.
Ooh, that's a good question. Titans South.
We had a decent defense. Damn.
Okay, so who did they played I think Buffalo. I gotta go back and check. I think was it the Bills or the Ravens? Who did they? I'm having a brain fart right now.
What are you talking about? The Titans?
Well, no, okay. Well, no, the Chiefs. Hold on. The Chiefs beat us in the AFC Championship. What am I saying?
Yeah.
We would have won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The Chiefs played the.
Was it the Rams?
Oh my god! I'm having a brain fart.
Was it? Hold on, let me look it up.
Okay,
hold on. Who did they play?
If somebody could put that in
the Ravens. It wasn't the Ravens.
No, it wasn't the Ravens.
Not the Ravens. No. 2019 run. Was it the Rams? No.
The 49ers.
It was the 49ers.
Yes.
Because they had who did they have? They had Jimmy Garoppolo. Oh yeah, we would have won that.
Yes. Now,
because
we're talking about the Super Bowl. Yes, we would have.
We would have won that. Yes.
Yep. You know the problem with the 49ers that season, y'all? The 49ers had a very good defense. They did. But their
offense was trash.
Yep. Their offense was not. It was very average, and they could not stop the run. That was the problem. They caused turnovers, but they could not stop the run. Derek would have had a ball.
Yep. He would have ran them up. Sean B with another super chat. My guy.
Sean
B. I see where y'all
coming.
Oh!
Sean Britton in the building. One more again. We appreciate it, Sean Breezy.
He says, I see where y'all coming from, but let's look at the offensive line. It was a lot of circumstances that put him in that. AJ's great, but look at the team he's on now. Hurts is throwing it in his line, blocks for him.
That's true. There's some truth to that, Sean. So, Sean, I agree with you, sir. The Philadelphia Eagles is the most talented football team in the league, in my opinion. Not the Chiefs, not the Ravens. I think Ravens might be number 2. I think the Eagles have the most talent, and I think because they draft extremely well. And I think after this year, the Eagles are going to start falling apart because they got to sign these guys, right?
Yep.
These guys are going up to their contract. They're going to start getting picked apart, right? So, but the thing that I say with AJ makes him different, though, man, is, you got your blocking up front. You got Jalen Hurts and all that. But all Jalen Hurts has to do is just get him the football. All you have to do is get AJ the football. That's what Ryan Tannehill did. You don't have to be a great quarterback to get AJ Brown the football. AJ Brown gets the football. He made Ryan Tannehill look like Joe Montana. That's why he led the league in QBR the year they went to the AFC Championship. Throw the ball to AJ Brown. That's all you have to do. I don't think it's that difficult, bro.
And he got Smith on the other side too. I can't take away from Smith either.
Facts.
Like
that's facts,
AJ Brown has been a good beneficiary of having talent around him.
Yep.
I think only time, yes, he has, because he had Derrick Henry his rookie year too. He's had talent around him, Hawk. I mean, it helps when you have talent around you that allows you to elevate. I think his best season was I think it was the 2019 with Ryan Tannehill. In my opinion, I think that was his best season
or in his career
with the Titans. I think with the Titans, he was balling out, man. Like he was kicking butt, but. Yeah,
he had a hell of a season with the Eagles last year too. The year before, AJ went off.
Yeah. Now, if I ask the kids, now this is funny, Hawk. If I ask my Pee Wee team, I'm like, what y'all think about AJ Brown? You know who their favorite receiver would be? Justin Jefferson and Tyreek Hill. That's all you would hear.
Right. Exactly.
That's all you would hear.
They're flashy guys.
Flashy. Yep.
Flashy.
Yep.
And they make more splash plays, long, deep passes, and speed and routes. Like AJ deceptively can do that for sure, right? But
Yeah.
Yep. So what up, Ocho? What's happening? What's good, bro? What's happening?
What up, Ocho?
What up? What
He
up?
said,
We'll go 2 more questions.
who's the most overrated quarterback in the NFL? For me, it's Burrow.
Ooh, Joe Burrow.
I wouldn't even say Burrow, man. I can't say Burrow, bro.
But you, IR, can I agree with one thing that he's saying about Joe Burrow? So I disagree, IR host. But I will say, man, he's had talent around him when it comes to receivers his whole career, bro. Except his rookie season. I told you this, Jock. Even though the Bengals was trash, I was like, hey, Joe Burrow cold, bro.
Yeah, you did say that. You did say that.
That boy cold. He beat
us
by himself, right? But
he did.
But Joe Burrow's had how in college do you have the top 2 receivers in the NFL on the same college team? Are you kidding me?
Same college team, bro. He did, and I'll say this: he took the Bengals to a Super Bowl.
He did.
I'm just saying, bro. He ain't overrated.
You know, rookie Jamar Chase, a rookie.
He beat us. I mean, I Joe Burrow. You know what, Christina? I think you taking mine right out. You took it. Trevor Lawrence is the most overrated quarterback in the league. Yes.
I hear
He's
you, bro.
overrated. Yes.
Folks don't even talk about Trevor Lawrence no more.
I don't care. He's overrated.
Yeah.
Remember,
I'm trying to think who's the most.
Josh,
so you got Trevor Lawrence the most overrated. Most overrated quarterback.
He said Herbert.
It might be Justin Herbert. I can see that.
Him too.
I can see that. I think Justin Herbert is I think he's a good quarterback. I do. But do they talk about him like he's that dude? That's when I think of overrated. Okay, to your point, yes, people talked about Trevor Lawrence like he was that dude. They did talk about him. Who?
I got you one. Who they talk? You say so? You talk about who they talk about all the time?
Like he's that dude. Yes,
like he's that dude, and he should have. You ready?
Go for it.
This is your boy, Josh Allen, man.
You think he's overrated?
Josh Allen, because of the way they talk about him. Josh Allen should have taken his team to the Super Bowl, bro. Off brand. I'm sorry. When he had Stephon Diggs, he the same realm around Joe Burrow. They should have been Bills should have been in 2 to 3 Super Bowls, bro. I know you got the Patrick Mahomes thing, but if we're gonna go off of if they talk about you like you're supposed to be up here,
yeah.
It'll be Josh Allen, dog. Because his expectations is Super Bowl. I mean, straight up Super Bowl. Like when you talk about the Bills, they talk about Super Bowl. Bills, Super Bowl. Bills, Super Bowl. Bills, Super Bowl. So to your point, I would say Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence. But to your point, if the people that they talk about, Josh Allen, you got Dak Prescott too. I mean,
I think I would say Dak over Josh Allen as far as overrated. I think Josh Allen, though he has not won a Super Bowl. And I think the big thorn with Josh Allen is kind of what Charles Barkley had to deal with, Patrick Ewing, Dominique Wilkins, the Jordan effect, the Patrick Mahomes effect in the AFC.
Right.
He has not been able to beat him, at all. Like that's been his thorn. The only quarterback that's really beaten Patrick Mahomes really has been Joe Burrow. You know what I mean?
Oh, Joe Burrow, yeah.
Yeah. So it's probably Dak Prescott, Christine. I agree. It's Dak. It might be Dak. Most overrated quarterback in the league. Dak is paid very well, and the Cowboys still trust in him. The Dallas Cowboys do.
They do.
Yep. Some people can say Jalen Hurts is overrated.
Jalen Hurts, but he won a Super Bowl.
I know.
He won a Super Bowl.
That's right. But to some people's point, the roster around them, the blocking and things like that, I don't think so. I've just heard that. I'm not saying that or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But
or Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. Yep.
We
talk about Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson has had, if not more talent than the Bills, and he ain't won no Super Bowl.
If they not going to the Super Bowl this year, they're gonna have to break that team up, dog. I'm sorry. I think he's probably. I take him over. Let me say this: he's more overrated than Josh Allen, and I like Lamar, dog. Do not get me wrong, but maybe I see it different, bro. You got Derrick Henry, you got the defense, you got some receivers.
Yep.
I know.
Time, them jokers.
They just stink it up, bro.
Summertime, bro. They
stink it up. They stink, bro. They stink it up. The Chargers do too. The Chargers, another team that stink it up. And again, I feel like the Bills have a curse on them because it's been like this since the '90s, bro. They've been to 4 Super Bowls and lost all 4 of them. We killed their playoff hopes.
Yeah,
Music City Miracle. Now Josh Allen is Yeah, yeah. Brock Purdy, I don't even put Brock Purdy in that conversation because to me, he shouldn't be even up there.
Mm.
In my
His
opinion,
contract says that he should be though.
I know it, bro. At this point, what you say all the time, Hawk. There's not a lot of good quarterbacks in this league, so when you
That's
get
right.
one, you sign a crazy deal.
That's right. That's
Okay,
facts. That's facts. That's
that's
facts.
just what it is.
That is what it is. That's right. That's
It
facts.
is what it is. I'm using your statement, bro.
No, it's true. That's true. That's exactly. That's
Yeah,
facts. It's facts. That's facts. So we'll go one more question, y'all. We'll go one more question. Y'all having fun, by the way? I
Kyler
am.
Murray.
I'm
Man.
having a ball. Kyler Murray. I feel King Isaac, but they don't talk about Kyler Murray though. You know what I mean?
Nah,
You don't really.
Kyler, he's another one.
When
I'm
you
like,
when you spoke about Trevor Lawrence, absolutely. Like people
yes,
talked about it. And he was the number one pick in the draft. Yeah,
yes,
they did talk a
yes.
lot about him or
That
whatever for
that's
sure.
my number one. If I got to give, if I'm passionate, the Jags, you suck. Trevor Lawrence, you suck. Okay, I like Brian Thomas, I do. I like Travis Hunter, but Trevor Lawrence, you suck. And Jags fans, if you want to debate me, please get on the show and come on debate me. But Trevor Lawrence is trash.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
You might not get no smoke from the Jags in that one.
I probably
'Cause he
won't,
has a
bro.
lot. Trevor Lawrence has a lot to prove. He can prove it this year. You know what I'm saying, but it remains to be seen. I'm not putting no money in no Trevor Lawrence.
I agree.
Yep.
I agree.
Yep. IR, okay. IR Hashi, I see you, bro. Are you confident in David? Okay, so
Pressure.
I will tell you this, IR. So when we get to go to the practices here during they're doing mini camp, training camp, the eye that I have on more than anybody on this team is Dan Moore, not Cam Ward, not anybody else. I want to see Dan Moore out there because he was the highest in the free agency. And when it comes to contract, he had the highest amount on his contract than any offensive line in this free agency. Then left tackle's a spot that we've had it's been different. Our left tackles we've had over the last 5 seasons. We've had a different left tackle over the last 5 since Taylor Lewan has been gone, who very underappreciated if you ask me. Since he's been gone, we've had 5 different left tackles. So we've paid this guy. I feel our offensive line group is better. The best we've had probably in 5 years as a group. My eye is on Dan Moore. He is the guy that can change everything at left tackle because he's got to protect Cam Ward. He's got to protect him. So I'm saying Dan Moore, am I confident in him? I'm not right now. Not right now. I got to see it. I seen tape of him when he was with the Pittsburgh Steelers. The reason he got paid, one, he's very healthy. He's young. He's got ability for sure. He has ability. He's not consistent. So I want to see him be consistent for me to say I'm confident. You, Jacques?
No, you know how I felt about this when we picked him up, man. We paid him too much. They better have a hell of a plan, bro. Bill Callahan, I don't know what you're gonna do. And I think the excuse that they use, well, he went against Myles Garrett, he went against this DN, he went against that DN. That's fine, but if you're doing it against them, I don't trust him. Let me say that I don't trust him. I don't trust him. I don't
Okay.
trust him. I don't
Oh,
trust
that's
him.
huge. Because
We,
if Dan Moore don't play well, y'all, we're not winning many football games.
sure ain't.
We're
Cam
not.
gonna be running for his life.
Exactly. He
He gonna be
will
running.
be.
They
And
can
we
he
don't
can he
want
do
that.
it?
I don't
Right. We
want
sure
that.
don't. No, I don't either. I don't either.
That's
I'm
how
like,
that's how you get players hurt.
right.
And then
Right.
I tell you this. I got shout out to my brother Mark the Skeptic, Juggernaut MZ as well. They both was like, they would understand slightly more. I say Mark the Skeptic more than Juggernaut. Why, if they feel the offensive line come preseason ain't doing what they supposed to, put Will Levis out there, man. Don't get Cam killed out there.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what I
for
mean?
sure.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. What did I tell you? I don't think that Joker gonna play a lot at all, dog. I
I'm talking
wouldn't
about
play him.
I'm talking about game 1. I'm talking about in the
I believe.
regular season.
Are you talking about putting him out there?
Yeah. Yeah. I disagree. I want Cam out
Yeah,
there.
nah.
Yeah, I
I
don't.
still.
But if the offensive line is busted and disgusted, hey, man, don't get one out there hurt, bro.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. He still got to learn. You're gonna have to let him learn from.
Yeah, you don't have to
Yeah,
learn. That's
he
fact.
gonna have,
I
he gonna have to
agree.
learn.
That's
He gonna have
fact.
to learn. I'm gonna tell you, Mark and Jug, man. I'm sorry, bro. You gonna have to learn, bro. Don't get your
Yeah.
ass out there and go ahead and learn this right as much as you can. That's how I do my boys. I'm coach. My helmet's too tight. Now get out there. Stop playing with me. Go.
Yeah.
So yeah, he gonna have to learn, bro.
Yeah, man. So, all right, y'all. Would you what? Yeah, you saw another question. You wanted to, you could
Yeah,
throw
I
one
did.
more
I
question.
did.
That's cool.
I did. Yeah. Let me see. This from actually Zach C. What up, brother?
What up, Zach?
Uh,
Zach
man,
C and OG Zach C in the
we
building.
got two. Man, we got two good questions. We're gonna end with Zach, man. He said, "Yo, what's up, Zach?" And I know we ain't seen you in a minute. He said, "If Xavier Restrepo makes the team, where do you see him fitting in? Will he be a backup, or do you think he'll see some playing time?" If he makes the team, he'll be a backup. I will say that. Will he get a playing time? It depends on who's available, right? Traylon Burks, I have no confidence in Traylon Burks. To be honest with you, Hawk. I don't
I
know if he'll
clearly
be
hear
here.
that for sure.
Yeah, I don't. I don't. Traylon's gonna have to really show it to me. But he'll be a backup for sure. Because you drafted DK, you drafted Elick, and with those two, you want them to get enough reps that they can to develop them faster. But if
Right.
Restrepo has outleaped them and he's above them, man, put him in. If you feel like he can win us games and get touchdowns, put him in. I'll say this: anything. If you feel like he can contribute early, find a place for him. If you don't feel like he contributed early, don't sign him. Do what you got to do. But if he makes the team, he'll be a backup. He's not a. And to be honest with you, I'm gonna tell you this: he's not a X or Y receiver. To me, he's a good slot receiver, right?
Right.
So whoever can take that slot, boom. I like him in that slot position. Now he can play the X, he can play the Y. I feel like he's a more complete receiver, but for starting out, he'll be a backup, and you probably put him in the slot and let him fight it out.
Right.
Mason Kinsey, man, Mason Kinsey do not need to make this team no more. What about you? What you think, Hawk? And then we
Yeah.
can get up
Listen,
out of
I
here.
don't. But with Mason Kinsey, I don't think that's like. I'm not so much worried about him losing the spot to Mason Kinsey. You know, it's other
Right.
guys. So the question would be, how many receivers are we going to put on this roster? Because if we have 3 tight ends, we're only going to go 7 receivers, right? And the Titans like to have tight ends out there. Our tight end competition is going to be heavy. When you think of Chig, Gunnar Helm, Josh Wiley, David Martin Robinson, that's 4 tight ends right there. So if they decide to keep 3, then okay, well, just generally say we have 8 receivers. Just take a wing at it. You got Calvin Ridley. You got Van Jefferson. We haven't talked about Van Jefferson.
Mm-hmm.
Traylon Burks,
Tyler Lockett,
Kinsey, Tyler Lockett, Shamir DK, Elick Ayamana. We got Restrepo. You got James Prochet, the other
Bryce
guy,
Oliver.
Bryce Oliver. That's 10. My bad. That's 10 receivers that I just named. 10. That's a lot. So, so it's it really depends. It's a numbers game.
Mm-hmm.
Can Restrepo be top 7, top 8? Ridley's gonna make the team. Elick Ayamana's gonna make the team.
Tyler.
Shamir DK. Tyler, I could see. I'm not gonna guarantee he makes the team, Jock. I'm not gonna guarantee that because he has a 1-year deal,
Right.
and it really depends on how well he does. I hope he does, but I'm not. You might. That's cool, but I don't know if I guarantee it.
I don't think they're gonna play him in the preseason. Why play Tyler Lockett in the preseason if you know what he's done for past 10, 11 years? I mean, you got him in here to teach the younger receivers like Restrepo, Elick, and DK, and to get them because those 3 are their replacement. They're replacing Calvin. They're gonna replace Tyler. They're gonna replace Van Jefferson. Van Jefferson is good, but I don't look at Van Jefferson as this all-out XY that's going to save this team. Hell no. In my opinion, he was a good signing. I know he's a Nashville product, but nah, I'm cool. With Tyler, he's a good veteran presence. He's a good receiver. Actually, if I have a rookie quarterback, I would love to have Tyler Lockett because look what he was able to do with Russell Wilson and company, right? He's a comfortable safety blanket. If he knows how to run the routes, boom. I don't get that feeling that unless they play him in the preseason, then that might give you an inkling and be like, okay, cool. If he gets hurt, boom. But man, Tyler Lockett, he's here, bro. Like, but for a year, yeah, he's after this year, he gone. But I don't know, man. I don't know.
Did I mention Traylon Burks to the 10?
Nah, you didn't.
So that's
I think
11.
you said Mason Kinsey. So it sounded like you meant to say Traylon Burks, but you put Mason Kinsey almost as a starter. And when you
I was just thinking. No,
yeah,
I didn't
so you didn't say Traylon.
First you came out of my mind.
Yeah, you didn't say Traylon.
Okay, so 11 receivers that we have.
So Christina sounds like she has a good little. It's not rocket science. What she just did is not rocket science. She put pen to paper Ridley, Jefferson, Lockett, DK, Emil McManus, Oliver, and Restrepo. So who that leaves out? That leaves out Traylon. Who, again, if Traylon don't get his stuff together.
Traylon Burks,
Uh,
Mason
Mason
Kinsey.
Kinsey.
That leads out Jaquan Jackson. Forgot about him. That's 12 receivers. Jaquan Jackson.
Thank you.
James Prochet. That's 4.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think of anybody else.
Porsche, what's his name? Porsche. He starts with a P. Yeah, Porsche.
Colton Dowell. That's 12 receivers.
Colton Dowell.
Colton Dowell's he's a good special teams guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. So damn, 12 receivers.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I like the variable thought mindsets, but I need you to catch the ball. It's very variable. I need you to run routes. I like special teams, I do, but I need you to catch the ball. I need you to score touchdowns, and I need you to I told you, mindset is different.
Somebody's got to play special teams. Somebody's got to play special teams.
Oliver, get out there. DK, I like DK speed. You get out there. Somebody can play special teams. Do we have any DBs that can run? It ain't always got to be receivers. It can be running backs. Be versatile. Just because he's a special teamer and just because he's this, be versatile. I like this. I like the pen to paper. I like this. This is simplified. You leave out Traylon Burks. I get it. But Hawk, I'm sorry, man. I like Traylon. I advocated for him when I thought he was gonna be something, but he's just injury prone, bro. And after a while, you got to move on, dogs. I think they should move on from him after this season. And you matter of fact, you want to know what's funny? I think he should get a lot of PT time in preseason. I do, because I feel like he has improved nothing, in my opinion.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Another thing, I don't know how hurt he is, but he should be out there. If he's not that hurt, he should be out there with Cam and them too. That's in my opinion.
Yeah. I got you.
Get out there and learn something, bro.
I could see the Titans when the preseason starts. Just say like they're 3 receivers. I could literally see them because he's been here. I could see the Titans starting Calvin Ridley, Tyler Lockett, and Traylon Burks as their 3 receivers when the season starts or the preseason starts. I actually could see them start Traylon Burks.
I can see that, but he got no choice. You got no choice. You got to get him up to speed. Yeah. You got to get him up to speed, Hawk. And then if he gets hurt in preseason, it's a wrap. That opens up the spot right there. It's a wrap. Yeah. He got a lot to prove, and he's on notice. He's on notice. Like I think Callahan just called him out too, along with Xavier Restrepo.
Right, for sure. So, all right. Well, listen, hey, we want to say thank you all for watching the live chop up, y'all. We're gonna do this again next week as well. We appreciate everybody, man. Listen. Follow us today, man. Hit that subscribe button for sure, man. We appreciate everybody's time, man. Y'all rocked with us all night, man. Hey, we appreciate everybody in the comment section, man, keeping the show active. We appreciate the super chats as well that took place as well. Follow us, y'all. Tennessee Titans Weekly. Do that today. Hit that like button on this video as well, man. Get us in the algorithms. Check us out on Bleacher Report. We are the official Tennessee Titans Bleacher Report podcast. Download the app. Follow the Tennessee Titans. You will see us there, man. You can follow me at Lorenzo_Hawk. You can follow Jacques at Jacques Merrill. If you follow us, you notice content is picking up. So we got TikTok videos everywhere. We got Instagram videos everywhere. We're on Apple. We're on Spotify. Our Apple and Spotify audio podcast is picking up. So if you like to cut the grass or just listen to your car and you're just driving and you don't want to see our ugly faces, you can listen to us on the audio. You know what I mean? So check us out. We're everywhere. We appreciate it as always, man.
Yes, sir. When you check us out, man, cut your notification bells on and let you know when we go live, post any new content. And again, appreciate the Weekly family for y'all supporting us, man. Shout out to Bleacher Report. And like Hawk said, we'll be at training camp next week. And, man, if you need anything, holler at us. But, Hawk, take us home, bro.
For sure, man. Thank you, Christine and IR Hashi, by the way. Thank you all. So we hope you all have a great rest of your week. It's hot, I'm sure, wherever y'all might be in Nashville, smoking hot. But, hey, drink a lot of water, drink a lot of Gatorade. And, Jacques, as we always say and as we always do, bro, facts.
No paper.